Alrighty, it's go time. Woo, let the explosion begin. Today's show is so special for me because these are part of my family. These are the peeps. Before we even jump into them, we're going to shout out to ASA. That's right. They're powering the podcast today. ASA is the employer of record, all in one platform. So if you can grow your staffing firm quickly, don't worry about the back office or the paperwork. Just call ASA. My friends are out there for you all the time. Stephen Dwyer, what's up, buddy?
Richard, it's a pleasure to see you. How are you?
You too, man. Always traveling, always doing good. And I tell you what, this show is so important for me and a lot of people out there, Stephen, because a lot of people, they see you on the stage in Staffing World. They see you giving some handshakes out. They see you in the magazines, the videos. But do they really know who Stephen Dwyer is? That's the question I want to know.
A big existential question. Who is that guy?
Who is that guy? So you know what? Let's just go back in memory lane. Let's go back a little bit, like in your teen years of, growing up and all that good stuff to where you're at now. Let's just take a little quick detour.
Well, I wanted to be a New York Yankee. Let's start with that. How about that?
Oh, the Yankees? Come on. I'm a Boston Red Sox fan.
I'm sorry. You're going to end the podcast now. I'm sorry.
There's the button.
There's the button. But yeah, I was really into baseball. I loved it, breathed it, everything. But I'd love to say that I came this close, but it was more like, that far away. It was not something that I could ever realize. So I did the next big thing. I went to law school. Baseball player, law school, right? They go together, not so much. But I always kind of was intrigued about solving problems, analyzing problems.
Yeah.
And I was very deliberate. I went to Boston College Law School, and there was a reason why I chose Boston College. And it was a little bit different from a lot of other places. Law schools have the reputation of being cutthroat, and I was anything but. And I wanted anything but that kind of atmosphere. And Boston College really provided a community, which was with amazing people who thought amazing things. And that's exactly what I wanted to surround myself with. And now, gosh, how many decades later? And I'm serious about this. I'm still around amazing people thinking and doing amazing things. It's kind of come, all the way around, full circle.
Okay, so Boston College, I got to ask you, were you at that game when that happened? I mean, can I say I was a little kid, day after Thanksgiving, Doug Flutie throws this miracle. Am I right or what?
You are right. And so what Richard's referring to, for those who have no idea, is a bowl game. Boston College. I was not there. I was a young kid too. They were playing University of Miami. Doug Flutie, the quarterback, threw, in essence, a Hail Mary, about 55 yards or so, to Gerard Phelan, the receiver, to win it. The last play of the game for Boston College, most famous play in BC history.
Oh, I still remember him running down the field. He's only like 5'8", 5'9", with his hands in the air. I mean, that's I'm sure Boston College has them pictures, everything like that. That's what they're on the map for when it comes to sports.
Here's what you got to think about, though, to tie it into relevance, I think, to anything that you and I do on a day-to-day basis. You're the host of this podcast, and the audience doesn't know that we were on having a little technical difficulties, right? And you practiced over and over again, preparation. You know that things can go wrong, and you're going to be challenged, but you're going to handle them because you've done it 100 times before. Those guys, I guarantee you, practiced that play a bunch of times. So when it came up in the game, they were ready for it. So, I mean, that's a lesson, and don't underestimate the fact that you might have to go to great lengths at some time. So practice.
What's funny is, Stephen, you're so true. And in staffing, consistency. The more you're out there, the more you post, the more you talk to people. That's what it's all about, being consistent.
Absolutely. And that being consistent. And then what happens? People trust you, and then they rely on you, and then it's a no-brainer for them. They've got an issue, they've got a problem. They're going to go to Richard because they know he's thought through these things. They don't even hesitate. So reliability breeds trust and then better relationships.
You got that right. Okay, so I got to ask you. So, being a lawyer back in the day, I mean, give us some of the tidbits about that before you jumped into ASA.
It's funny because I liked certain aspects of being a lawyer. I liked the critical thinking. I liked dealing with hard, you know, being a lawyer, you're dealing with hard subjects.
Mm-hmm.
I did not like how lawyers treated each other. I did not like the myopic view of we've got to continue to focus, focus, focus. And many lawyers kind of in doing that, and that's what law school teaches you, analyze, focus on the minutia. They miss the bigger picture. And so I've always been kind of a different breed, if you will, when I was a lawyer. I focused on the details, certainly in the analysis, but I focused on two things: the people I was around,
Mm-hmm.
because I was always trying to invest in their success, because I thought everybody benefited if I did that. And two, think more broadly. And that's probably those two traits why, at this stage in my career, I pivoted to lead the American Staffing Association. That investment in others, and then think more broadly and lead ASA into the next chapter.
What made you do that transition to go to ASA? I think it was 2002, right? That you took off.
Yes.
What made you
Yeah.
take that leap?
Well, that's a great question. And it's an interesting story. So I was looking for a new position, and my alma mater, my university, shout out to Bucknell University, sent out a big alumni directory, hard copy. And I went through every lawyer in the Washington, D.C. area and called him or her up. Said, love to network, want to know what you do for a living. And then I came across Ed Lenz, who was then the general counsel of the American Staffing Association. And I called him up and I looked at the ASA website.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I literally did this. I remember it like it was yesterday. I called my wife into the room and I said, that's where I want to work.
Get out.
Look at what they do for this country and for America's workers. This is unbelievable. Rest is history. I got hired by ASA and been here ever since.
I love it. Was that like one interview, one and done, and you got it?
It was funny, pretty much. The rest of the story was I talked to Ed. Ed said,
Mm-hmm.
look, I never have lawyers leave. Not surprising because, working with Ed is a joy and a privilege. And 2 weeks later, he called me up. He said, you're not going to believe this. One of my lawyers left. And by the way, I know the partner at your old law firm. I already called him about you.
Get
So I
out.
know about it, you. I was like, whoa, this is moving really quickly. And then the rest was history. So, yeah.
Man. And then you jumped in the ring at ASA 2002. And then I tell you what, you did a lot, I mean, for us, on probably Capitol Hill, fighting for our rights and all that good stuff. Can you break that down? I mean, that has to be busy and stressful.
It is busy and it is stressful, but it's so enjoyable because, when your work has meaning, I wanted to do important work. It's one reason why I came here. And the work that we do is serious work, it's important work, and it's meaningful work.
Yeah.
And, I used to go out and we as a team were faced with some challenges in California, particularly, and Massachusetts. And I worked on, to give you an example, for years, about 4 years, a legislative issue in Massachusetts where at the beginning, they literally wanted to shut us down as an industry. There was no love lost. They did not like us. They heard terrible things from organized labor. So the beginning of that 4-year period was just educating them, saying, you got it all wrong, folks. And then the next 2 years was negotiating to a situation that we could live with. We didn't defeat the legislation, we did for a number of years, but ultimately we came up with something we could live with. And that's the other thing with some lawyers. And I'm not trying to bash the profession, but some need to win at all costs. That's not my approach. If I can get to yes with something that, we can live with, and sometimes you have no alternative but to accept it, then sometimes good is good enough and you got to just move on. That's what we did.
You summed that right. Can I say it real? You got the down and dirty attorneys that, hey, they know what they want to do, right? They'll fight for you. But, at the end of the day, you're just like me. You have that heart and you have that ethical view. It's like, hey, you know what? This is beyond that, So thank God you came on our side, the ASA side.
Well, I do. And I'm so glad I did, and I mentioned something before and I'll reiterate it. What my role then in the legal role and my role now as the head of ASA. And, for those who don't know, and I've told this story before, I've had some health challenges. I last year had a double lung transplant.
Oh, wow.
I was in the hospital for several months, and people and nurses and staff would say, what do you do for a living? And, most people would say, well, I give they give their title or whatever. I'd say I invest in the success of others. And people's reaction to that is, well, what do you mean by that? That's not something you hear all that often.
No.
But that doesn't just apply to me. Think of the industry that I represent. It invests in the success of others. That's what we're all doing every single day. So how could you not love that mission? I mean, it's just a privilege. It really is.
It is a privilege. Okay, so I want to go back a little bit real quick here. When you did all the legal stuff on Capitol Hill, give me some insight about that, because I think people out there don't realize how much time and effort goes into that. And I'm not going to say the shouting matches, but you have to educate the politicians, everybody like that, because I got to tell you, Stephen, on my end, they all think that staffing firms make all this profit, and it's not true.
Well, you're absolutely right about that. So one of two things you will notice if you meet with a legislator. One, they will have no idea what the staffing industry is or does. Or two, if they do, and I'm overgeneralizing, some know about it very well. And if they do, typically they had a temporary job out of college or something and actually have quite good memories of that. But more often than not, many of them are not familiar or have a dim view of the industry because they've heard bad things, typically from organized labor. So a big part of the role was, and the legal team still does this, educating how many jobs we provide, the training we provide, the bridge to permanent employment, all the great things. And then it's explaining, hey, Madam Legislator or Mr. Legislator, if you do this, pass this bill, you may put us out of business, and that'll cost X jobs in your state or your congressional district. Do you really want to do that? And then the light bulb goes off and they say, no, I don't want to do that. Well, here's a way to go. This is what I think you should do. And again, more often than not, we can reach a good place. But you got to have your arguments. They're sharp people. They're going to ask you tough questions. So you got to argue and push back.
And you all spend a lot of time in D.C. doing this, right? Correct?
We do. We spend an awful. Toby Manlara, our VP of Government Relations.
Yeah.
He's awesome. Myself, before I assumed this role, Ed Lenz, but primarily Toby, is up on Capitol Hill all the time. And here's the thing. Even if there's not an issue that's challenging us, no bill or whatever, he's still up there making the rounds, talking to legislators saying, you got to know about our industry, all the great things we do. And that's the one thing I would say that he does that all staffing firms should emulate. Do it now, meet with your legislators when they're home before any bad bill is introduced. Because then, if a bad bill is introduced, they already know you. They already know all the great
Mhm.
things you do. It should be, and unfortunately it's not, but it really should be part of a business plan of every staffing firm to do that.
You are so true. I mean, proactive. All these staffing firms out there, if you're listening to this, seriously, jump on wherever your local area is, jump on with the reps and all that stuff and talk to them already so they're educated.
And so they're educated, and we can help you. You know, somebody might say, Stephen, I have no idea how to do that. No problem. That's why our ASA membership comes in on so many levels. You can reach out to me, to Toby, to Ed Lenz, to Pat Tracy, our other lawyer. We'll give you the talking points. We'll tell you how to set up the meetings. We can set up the meetings for you. So lean on ASA.
100%. And I will test this. And within 24 hours, you're getting a response back no matter what from all of you guys. Seriously, it's
Yes.
prompt.
Yes. Again, in the service of others, right? And we mean that. We mean business about that. You know,
Ooh.
when I came, when I took over as CEO to succeed Richard Walquist, you know, I really set very much what our North Star is to define this for our members and our employees, ASA employees. What is our purpose? What's our why? And because we do a lot of different things at ASA, but the theme that connects all of the different things, legal and legislative advocacy, publications, education, economic research, and data, is to drive staffing firm growth, to fuel staffing firm growth. If what we're doing for our members does not contribute to their growth, we shouldn't be doing it, and we won't be doing it. But all of those things that we engage in is for the staffing firm's benefit. So getting back to the member within 24 hours, absolutely. We have to do that because the member's coming to us with a need. And that circles back to what you and I talked about at the beginning, Richard. Consistency builds trust. Trust builds reliance and
Yep.
utility. They view us, hopefully, as essential. And that's what we want to be to all staffing firms.
There it is. Okay, so I got to ask you, working with Richard Walquist for all them years, give me the give me the take on that, man, because you guys were like brothers for how many years did you work together? I mean,
Oh, we
it's
worked, well, I mean, we
oh
worked the entire time. I was here,
yeah.
20 plus years. It was great working with Richard. I learned a tremendous amount from Richard. Like anyone, like working with Ed before working with Richard, we have different leadership styles, but that's the great thing. It wouldn't be good if we had the same leadership styles because I certainly learned from both of them. And I hope and like to think anyway, that they learned from me and I became a better leader, better attorney, better president, now CEO because of that relationship. So the relationships at ASA are very strong and very tight. We care deeply about one another. That's not just blowing smoke, that's sincere. And it makes coming to work, so much more enjoyable.
And you know what I like? Seriously, I've been involved with the last 12 years. The longevity of your internal employees, it's like seriously, it's very high that people just stay there. So you know what's going on. The
Yeah.
culture, they love it.
People, particularly, those who come from other organizations, you're so right. They kind of have the reaction that I talked about a few minutes ago when I looked on that website and called my wife in. And then I got to know Ed and Richard and others and was like, this would be my dream job to work here. People who come particularly from other organizations and visit and interview, they have the same reaction. And there's a reason. And one of the things that we do, just to give, well, we do many things. But in terms of hiring, we look for a few things. One is for passion for this industry. They don't have to be Pollyannish, but they do have to believe and be committed to this industry, all the good it does, right? And you know as well as I, that good is abundant. It's everywhere. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's critical. I introduce myself to people, tell them what I do, and I got a big smile on my face because it's like, yeah, I'm proud of this. The other things we look for when people come here to interview, they have to be hungry. And this isn't me. This is, I set the policy, but I borrowed from Patrick Lencioni, a management consultant. Hungry, humble, have no ego, right? They're for the greater good.
Get rid of that
Hungry, they
ego.
are, and smart. And smart doesn't mean intellectually smart necessarily. It means EQ smart, right? So that's what we hire for, along with mission. And we've got great people. I'm
Well, I
telling
gotta,
you,
I gotta
great
tell you
people.
guys, and I'm gonna say this: hell of a job, man, for your hiring. I mean, seriously, like if staffing firms could do the hiring process that you guys do, I mean, seriously, I mean, everybody of ASA, I've never had one bad apple. They're all just boom, perfect.
I think they're pretty good. But those who are listening, don't take my people, please. Hands off. They're staying at
This
ASA.
is not a podcast for
Yeah, this is
cherry
not a
picking.
recruiting opportunity for you all. So,
Oh, that's too funny. And I got to give you a congrats, man, for 2026. You're leading the way, CEO, president of ASA, which is a big honor and a big step. So, what went through your mind? Because I mean, a transition went on, and then now you're the man, in the cockpit now. So, what's going through your mind through this new vision we got?
yeah, so that new vision. So, what I would say, I mean, two words: challenge and opportunity, right? And everybody
Mm-hmm.
says that, or many people will say that when they assume a role like this. I think that the industry obviously has gone through some challenges economically. We're still going through them. So that presents always opportunity.
Yeah.
It presents opportunity once again, circling back. I always like to try to connect dots, at least in my mind. Opportunity for ASA. In these challenging economic times, what really matters? What really counts? What services can ASA provide? Should ASA provide new, existing, or should not provide things we should do away with that can help our members get through these challenging times? That's the opportunity. The other challenge, the big one, no surprise, that everybody is now talking about, and we've been talking about it for a while, is artificial intelligence. When you are dealing, when you represent an industry that specializes in human capital, and the so called experts are saying, well, human capital is really going to be affected
Mm-hmm.
by artificial intelligence. What does that mean for the industry? What does that mean for the value proposition? Is the value proposition changing? Must it change? And again, how can ASA better articulate that to its members and clients of staffing agencies? That's what's top of mind right now.
100%. And you know what? Probably in your whole history, this AI thing is almost like the computer. I mean, this is something coming at us real quickly, and we're all pivoting and changing in staffing. 5 years ago to now, it's totally different how you recruit now anymore. It's wild.
It's completely different. And so here's my thought, and this is no secret. Uh, I think a lot of firms, staffing agencies are thinking about this. I don't think enough are, honestly. I think more need to be thinking about it. But to some extent, we don't know what our industry will be changed. We don't know percentage wise or exactly how. My thought, along with a lot of others, is that the opportunity, again, coming back to that word, is yes, contract, temporary labor, that will still exist and we will still be placing people. But there's the new opportunity where our industry has somewhat been headed over the last 5 or 10 years, and that is consultancy. And I was just reading an article in the journal, Wall Street Journal, about how AI firms, Anthropic, others are hiring the McKinseys of the world and other consulting firms to consult with clients on how to best use artificial intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
Well, think about the opportunity for staffing agencies to do that, because a good staffing agency just is not just a labor broker, not just placing people, and I don't mean just in a derogatory term, but a good one's more expansive.
Yeah.
They're already consulting with their clients saying, Richard, I think I know you've got a new product in the wings. I think you've got to expand your personnel in this way, right? So now they're adding value. Well, they can expand on that already, the existing relationship into AI, and now they're that much more vulnerable. And I think that's where, in part, our industry is going.
100%. I mean, everybody has to learn AI. And you know what, Stephen? The big fear in our industry, everybody says AI is going to replace a recruiter. It really won't if you learn it. I think AI is like a supplement, like a protein shake. Seriously. It's just to add to our human ability, right? I mean, seriously, it's a supplement.
I don't think, yeah, it's protein shake is fuel,
Yeah.
and it will fuel. Again, I say this, so many people get on media or whatever, and again, I'm overgeneralizing, but a lot of them talking heads, and they say very, very sincerely and with seriousness, AI is going to do this, this, this. And I think to myself, you have no idea how AI is going to affect. We have an inkling, we have opinions, we have
Mhm.
hypotheses, but gosh darn it, this is the most powerful fuel I've ever seen in my lifetime. We can't be certain how this is going to go, but we got to be in the mix. Otherwise, it will leave us in the dust.
100%. It will. I got to tell you real quick, ASA, and we're going to harp on this a little bit more because I think the benefits of ASA, people out there, if you're not a non-member, I'm just going to tell you straight up, it's like my family, you know, Steve, and you can maybe elaborate on this. Besides the staffing world coming up in Denver and everything else, the website ASA Central, there's really something for everybody. It's like the toolbox that you need. It's like you guys have our back. Can I say it that way? Seriously, it's when I go sleep at nighttime, I know if I have a problem, I can call you guys up in the morning and you got my back.
Well, thank you for that. That is our goal. You know, in order to spur our members' growth, and I'm obviously biased, but I mean this from the bottom of my heart, that if you're not a member and you're in the staffing industry, you're missing out on a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And we are, and we seek to be, and I believe we are, the epicenter of expertise and insight that are going to help you grow. How? Through our advocacy, through our communications, through our research, and through our communities. And you just mentioned something, ASA Central, just one example of community. That's our online community, which has messages flowing abundantly every single day. And what is it? It's allowing our members to learn from each other. We don't at ASA profess to have all the answers, but we can get them, and we're going to hand them up to you on a silver platter, whether it comes from, you know, an economist on our ASA staff or outside, or the community of people on ASA Central. You're going to get the answer through ASA.
You said it, the best value in the business. I got to tell you that for the prices and the rates, that it never really goes up much. And then staffing world, I got to tell you, the mecca, the epic mecca of the year. I mean, can you just elaborate on that? It's in Denver, Colorado this year. It's always a good time. I call it valuetainment because you get value and entertainment all in one.
You get value, you get entertainment. When we provide entertainment, you know, well, let me step back. Staffing world's kind of the big tent in terms of industry conventions and meetings. There are a lot of very fine meetings out there in the industry. Again, I'm very biased. I think staffing world, you're going to find whatever you want and need at Staffing World. It's the big tent meeting for everyone in the industry. Whether you're a CEO who has 50 years in this business, they will be there. Whether you are a first year recruiter or account rep, they will be there. If you head up IT, they will be there. Why? Because one, the quality of learning is exceptional, and you will find a track, a path, a journey, we call them, uh, no matter your position and a level of experience. Number two, it's entertaining. We like to have fun. We will get big name speakers. Magic Johnson was one.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you might say, Richard, you might say to me, Stephen, why did you have Magic Johnson? Well, one, he was a hero of mine growing up. I thought the man was unbelievable as a businessman, person, and NBA basketball
Oh,
player. But two, the man could relate to us. He owns staffing firms.
yeah.
So he not only talked about leadership learned from playing days, but leadership learned from his business. And so we're always trying to tie the entertainment, which is great, into practical steps to be taken away. And then the last thing again is community networking. Talked about on ASA Central. You are going to meet your people at Staffing World, and you're going to learn. And those can and often will be career long relationships that you develop.
You said it. And also the software, all the exhibitors and stuff like that. You're seeing a demo live with somebody right there. It's not like you're doing a demo through a Zoom or Teams. You're actually getting to see the person there that's actually got your back if you do sign up for them that says, hey, this works and helps you out.
The exhibitors are unbelievable. First of all,
Mhm.
we couldn't do it without them. Second of all,
Yeah.
they are in there, that exhibit hall, which, if you've never been to an ASA expo hall, it is impressive. I
Oh, it
mean,
is.
it's grand, the grandeur of it, right? And the people who are there are industry suppliers. You just nailed it. They're demonstrating their products. They're showing you in real, to the extent that there are physical things, you're picking them up, you're online with them, you're being shown the real world benefit of their products. There's no substitute for that, speaking on a Zoom call. You're one on one or one on two with people who want to invest in your success. Once again, investing in staffing agency success.
Steve, I got to tell you, one of the best speakers that I've heard was Coach K. I got to tell you, Coach K, growing up, I was a North Carolina fan, Michael Jordan, of course. So, but I respected Coach K after he talked, and I could see why people wanted to play for him.
Yeah,
Man,
yeah. Well, I always try to learn things not only from what people say, but what they do. And when Coach K spoke at Staffing World, and he too is a hero of mine. I think he's fantastic as a leader and was as a basketball coach. One of the things I noticed, Richard, we had kind of a stage in a T-shaped form, and if you are on the stage, you could walk out into the audience. And he took advantage of that, and he walked out to the edge of the stage. But he did not just stand there and talk. What he did was he bent down and he put his hands on his knees and leaned forward to the crowd. Now, I don't know how many of our attendees subconsciously or consciously noticed it, but I noticed it. And again, I'm sounding like a broken record, but I'm trying to make connections to all these things. These are the things I think about, which is probably why, I drive people crazy because I keep thinking about these
he's
things.
thinking right now,
But
27.
what was he doing? What was he saying subtly to the crowd?
Yeah.
I'm invested in you. My leaning forward is because I want to connect with you, right? I'm not doing
Mhm.
this for the money. He's got plenty of money.
Yeah.
He and I spent an hour beforehand, one on one, talking about one another, about this industry. The gentleman was interested. He knew about it, but he wanted to learn more. He was invested. So that kind of thing, leaning forward. I'm sitting in the audience. I'm thinking, this is a guy who wants to be here. he wants to invest in the success of us. And that was amazing.
Oh, it was amazing. And now you got me thinking, Magic Johnson, back to him. Remember, he went through the crowd, Magic, and got pictures with the attendees. Just rolled for 15 minutes, a selfie with Magic Johnson.
A selfie, and people did this. And I remember one person, I won't call him out because I don't want to embarrass him, but
Come on, Steven.
He said, Magic said, you can chest bump me, right? Magic's big guy, 6'9". I believe he's 6'9". I think that's right. Anyway, people were trying to chest bump him, right? They're getting nowhere. They're coming up to his belly button. One individual, guy about my height, 5'10", I would say, maybe even a little smaller, he got hops, and he got up and chest bumped Magic. Magic's eyes got wide, and I was like, Magic is invested in our people. How fun is this? So,
yeah, and I got to
tell
you guys,
things that mean a lot. Little things that mean a lot.
Every speaker that you have, seriously, in the last 10 staffing worlds I've been in about 10 or 11 of them, they are all invested. They want to listen. They want to learn. They're afterwards, they're taking pictures or signing books and listening to you, which is part of our industry, Stephen. We learn together, man, We
learn together. And we will unveil in the coming weeks. I'm not going to spoil the secret. We'll do a big unveil in the coming weeks. Our keynote speaker, I'll say this, it's a he.
It's a what? Can you tell us what city? Wink, wink.
I'm not saying more than that because
people
in my office will say, "How could you have done that?" And they'll be mad at me, and I can't afford that. But it's a he, and he is very well known now. He's been on TV all of the time, and he will provide the entertainment as well as practical tech takeaways, education. So more to come on that. Just to tantalize everybody, but this dude's the real deal.
Well, hey, Stephen. Hey, thank you for coming on, man. You looking good, man. Sharp dressed. Can't wait to see you at Staffing World, buddy. And thank you for leading the way in 26 with all these new visions. And I can't wait for this new era. I mean, we're all excited here.
We are too. Richard, it's always a pleasure. Thank you.
You got it. Hey, that's a wrap, guys. We'll see you soon. Take care.